Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of Creekside Gameday. I'm your host, Noah Schlicksup, out here at the castle, and not much better sight than a freshly paved football field. We're out here and it is week one of the fall football season. Friday night lights getting going here as Creekside and Viera get ready to battle it out, looking to set the tone for this upcoming football season. We'll be breaking down tonight's matchup, going inside the Creekside quarterback room and meeting the man under center for this fall. We'll also be talking with head coach Sean McIntyre about what to expect from the Knights this upcoming season. A lot of questions surrounding these two teams, both of them looking to make a statement tonight. All this and more coming up next on Creekside Gameday. Now it's time for the matchup breakdown, as these two teams got a lot of questions facing them coming into this season. For Viera, they're on their third head coach in less than a year. After losing Derek Smith, their 6-year head coach, to McIntosh High School in Georgia, Chad Raymond stepped in, was supposed to replace him, but was forced to step down after 2 months on the job due to a family emergency. So Shane Staples stepped in 2 days later, and he's going to be the man calling the shots for Viera this season. They also lost almost their entire starting defense from last year. The most tackles a returning player had from last season, 15. They're going to have a lot of inexperience on that side of the ball, and that showed last week as they gave up 32 points in preseason. Now, they're going to have to replace their starting quarterback, Chase Cromartie. Going to step into that position. He struggled, and one of the keys for Creekside coming out with a win tonight is going to be getting pressure on Cromartie. He was constantly forced out of the pocket with pressure on him. He would run a little too soon and make a mistake. Creekside's got to force that this week, and I think that's going to be good for them. They got a linebacker core, an experienced one, with Ian Mooney and Nathan Hernandez. Both can get pressure on the quarterback. Ashton Anderson on the D-line, a returning impact player from last year, going to be key to a Knights win tonight. As for the Knights, they also have a lot of questions this year. I mean, what about Preston Strope? 19 touchdowns, that's just on the ground last year. Also losing their starting quarterback, who passed for 1,600 yards, Jacob Denny, as well as nearly all their defensive starters. Just 4 remain from last year. However, Coach Sean McIntyre is confident in his guys' ability to replace them offensively. The Knights need to focus on getting the ground game growing. The Hawks gave up 244 rushing yards last week in their preseason matchup. Creekside, ground game shouldn't be an issue for them this year. Nicky Williams stepping in to replace Preston Strope, said to be a very complete back, and he showed it last week against Fletcher. 120 rushing yards on the ground in just 19 attempts. I think he will do a fine job and be key offensively for the Knights setting up the pass. I think success on the ground is going to lead to success in the air for the matchup tonight for the Knights. This is going to be a telling one for each team, looking to make a statement here in week one. I mentioned earlier those questions surrounding each team heading into the season. They want to start things off on the right track with a win in week one. Now on to our next segment. We're going to be looking inside the Creekside quarterback room. Mentioned Jacob Denny, graduated last year. Who's going to be the man under center for Creekside this season? Well, they got 2. Wilson Edwards going to get the start with Sean Aschenfelder. Also going to be taking snaps at quarterback this season. I sat down with each of them. Let's take a chance to meet him here on Creekside Gameday. So, Wilson, I wanted to start off by asking you what you would say some of your strengths as a quarterback are.
I feel like my strengths are more like my mental side of the game. Like playbook-wise, reading coverages, and probably my accuracy are my main strengths.
Some of my strengths, I'd definitely say my mobility, ability to get out of the pocket, make a play, just making plays, you know.
What NFL quarterback would you compare yourself to?
I remember last year you compared me to Gardner Minshew, so I say probably Gardner Minshew, honestly.
It sticks.
It sticks.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes, obviously someone, look up to, great player, but yeah, I'd say I definitely do model my game a little bit off of him, some of the things he can do.
I mean, who wouldn't model their game off of Mahomes?
Pretty great quarterback.
What would you say you've learned from competing for the starting job this year?
I think it's really brought me and Wilson together more. I mean, it's brought me and him together, just the competition. Every quarterback loves it. Competition really elevates your game. It's just been great, man, getting to work with them.
Last year with Jacob, he kind of taught me a lot, like how to be a leader, how to lead the offense. Even if y'all are having a bad day, just keep everyone else going. And this year, it's more like I'm trying to do that with Sean, since he's got the next 2 years to really take over the offense and be the guy. So I'm trying to teach him how to lead and how to just stay calm even when everything's going bad.
What does it mean to you to be a high school quarterback here at Creekside?
It's special, you only get high school once, and just to play the game I love, it's really special to me.
It's more like I wanted to be the quarterback since I was a little kid, but I was never really allowed to play football until my 8th grade year. And then after my 8th grade year, when I came here, is kind of I grew up with Quinn. Quinn was trying to teach me, Jacob, DP came, seeing all them, kind of just motivated me to be the best that I could be.
How do you feel about the depth of your quarterback room this year?
I feel really good. Wilson and Sean have done a tremendous job in investing in our program, investing in our offense, investing in our team, and they have showed up every day and executed their job as a quarterback.
Using each of these guys is going to let Creekside have a dynamic offense this season. Each brings a different skill set to the table. Each of them very talented as well. It's going to be exciting to watch this season. Next up here, what are we supposed to expect for the Knights this upcoming season? Coming off the best season in program history, the first time they've had a winning season in back-to-back years. High expectations for the Knights this year, but what are the expectations inside the building? Sit down with Coach McIntyre to find out. And then as for your team, it's no secret the big senior class exit from last year. How have your guys handled, losing that many key players on this team?
Yeah, I don't think they look at it like that. I think they kind of look at it as this is our team and this is the new year. We don't sound like we talk about those guys or anything along that lines. And things in our program have changed drastically since early on. My first year here, we graduated a big senior class. We had 15 or 16 senior starters that year. And the next year, we replaced them with 10 or more sophomores who started every single game. And sophomores, it's very hard for a sophomore to be ready for a 10-game varsity season to be the guy. And those kids kind of, at the end of the season, that year was really wearing on those sophomores. This year, we replaced, obviously, 19 starters, but all the kids that are replacing them are generally juniors and seniors who've been in our program for 3 and 4 years and understand what it takes for us to be successful, understand the standards, understand what it looks like on a day-in, day-out basis and how to prepare themselves. So it's a very different feeling for us right now, and those kids don't, like I said, they don't look at we lost all those guys. This is their team, and they're going to take advantage of the opportunities they have.
Who are some players who have emerged as leaders on this team?
Definitely Wilson and Sean. Like I said, Wilson's taken a huge role with our offense. Nicky Williams has really stepped up at running back. He's done a great job. He's a really complete back. On the offensive front, those guys have kind of gelled together. We've got some younger guys, and we replaced all 5 starters, but those guys have kind of gelled together. Joe Bartles has kind of just been a really steady person in that group. On the defensive line, Cole Long and Ashton Anderson, who's a senior, have done a great job. And then obviously on defense, Ian Mooney, Nathan Hernandez, and Anthony Akel on the back end. Those guys are stalwarts on our defense. They all started last year and are really good players, and they've kind of carried the torch for our defense.
Tell us about that motto you got this year, leave no doubt.
That's not my motto. Every year in January, the first thing the seniors do when we start our senior leadership and our leadership development series is they pick our motto for this year. So that was their choice, leave no doubt. And they didn't want there to be any doubt about how good or where our program is following last year's senior class and who they were as a group. So that is where the leave no doubt comes from. That's completely their doing. I put them in my portable right here in this classroom, and I walk out the door and I come back in 15 minutes, and that's what's on the board, and that's what we roll with for the year. And that's something that I use to motivate them. I use to push with them with, and go from there.
And then what are your expectations as a team for this year?
My expectations are for us to play the best football that we can play as a team. If we go out on a Friday night and we play the best that we can play and we get beat, so be it. So that's my goal as a coach, is to make us the best piece, put the puzzle together in the best way for us to be the best team and play the best that we can, and then let the chips fall where they might after that. So that's my goal. Last year there was no goal on number of games won, and this year there's no goal on that. We want to win district titles. We want to make the playoff runs. There is no doubt about that. But our goal on a daily basis is to reach, and I know it's coach speak. I know that's what people say, but that is generally our goal here. Athletically, academically, socially, spiritually, all these things that play in there to the kids' development, we are trying to handle on a daily basis. We feed our kids every day after they lift. We want them to be big, strong, and be the best version of themselves, and that's what we're trying to reach by the end of the season.
So there it is, the Knights. Not looking to win a specific amount of games. They're just looking to play the best they can each and every week. Last but not least, my prediction for tonight's game. What am I going to forecast out here? I'm going to say Creekside comes away with a 24-13 victory over Viera. Getting back out the castle, week 1, setting the tone. I think it's going to be a great night to be a Knight. Kickoff's at 7 o'clock out here at the castle. If you can't make it out, you can catch my broadcast live on NFHS Network. Hope to see you out here. And thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe. And tune in next week for Creekside Game Day. Go Knights.